Why would you end up hitting him? You can't possibly be surprised that I'm asking you this, right? Because you keep hesitating. I just need you to tell me the truth. How did you end up hitting him? If your eyes are up and you're paying attention and you've seen that the light is green, you'd know there was a car in front of you. So how did you hit him?
Because he moved, so I moved along. But then he stopped, short, and I ended up tapping him.
Your Honor,
so let me just, no, it's not your turn yet.
Okay,
I'm still not done skewering Dion. All right, Dion. So you hit him because he stops short. Okay, which is kind of interesting because nowhere in Frank's statement does Frank say that. Did he ever say to you that the guy stopped short?
No, he did not.
No, it's the first time you hear this garbage, right? Because that's kind of the feeling I've got, that he's making it up as he goes along. So let's start from the premise that you agree that the accident is your employee's fault. And why was he driving your car? Was it during the course of the employment?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So now it's my understanding. Did you ever see the damage?
On our car?
No,
not
damage. On your car, on his car.
On his car, yes.
You did see it. All right, can I see the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think when you saw the damage to his car?
I thought that the extent of the damage was not our fault.
Why?
Why? Because if you're waiting at a light, how fast can you take off?
I don't know. It depends on how big a mistake you make. So, you know, let me see the pictures of the damage to your car. I mean, basically, it's a crack in the bumper of the Accord. What was the damage to your car?
There was no damage.
Yeah, what do you drive?
Minivan.
What is this a picture of?
That's the support with it was a center hit, and he pushed in the frame. You know where the trunk locks?
But what is the staining here? What is that, rust?
No, that's probably some thing from the manufacturer. But do you see it's bent in?
The manufacturer doesn't send off a car looking like that. I wonder what that is. Okay. Now, you end up taking your car to what auto? Show me the estimates for your car.
Yeah,
he tells you that he took it.
Did
he took it to get repaired, or that he took it to get an estimate?
Repaired.
All right, and you didn't like that because you felt like you should have a chance to have your guys look at it?
Isn't that fair?
I think it's fair, but you don't get to choose who repairs it. You know that.
Absolutely.
Right. Show me what he emailed you. So what's your defense? Let me ask you, Frank.
Okay, our defense is that we asked Davian for an estimate. He sends my brother an estimate. First, he sends page 2 and 3, which I'm giving to the officer here. And then we requested page 1. We got page 1, and we noticed that the date on page 1 was 9/23 of 2013.
Yeah.
Well, then what's suspicious? This estimate's September 23rd.
But if you look, it says August 7th.
Oh,
was
you just handed me something that says September 23rd.
Was the date of the estimate.
Right.
But the date of the accident says August 7th.
Date of loss, August 7th.
Right.
Right.
So your premise is that he crashed that bumper elsewhere and is trying to get you to pay for it.
Same damages.
Why does it say date of loss August 7th?
On August 7th, I got into an accident in Long Island. So I went through my insurance. My body shop that I took the car to did the repairs. He said
Prove that your car was completely repaired on August 22nd when this accident happened.
Okay. Now.
Prove it now.
I don't have.
Now you got it, but you can't be serious. That's the entire defense to this case. That they think that you're scamming them.
Okay.
They sent you multiple texts telling you that. Did you ever call the repair shop?
Yes, we did.
What'd they tell you? I want to know if they repaired the car before August 22nd when the accident happened. That's the question you asked them.
No, they did not.
That's what you're saying.
So
they told you, stop and wait, listen. So they told you we had not repaired the car before August 22nd.
Correct.
Okay, you best be able to prove to me that that's not true, because that's pretty serious.
All right.
So what I need from you is the following. I need something from your mechanic, because he's your mechanic, that proves that you had the repair already done on August 22nd.
Okay, Your Honor, the shop is no longer in business, and I haven't.
That's very unfortunate for you.
And then also, I'm having some legal issues with him because of the August 7th accident. It was in August 7th. The car was repaired. My insurance company paid it.
Then prove that. That's so easy. Perfect. Now show me proof from your insurance company, because now it doesn't matter if the shop closed. Now all you have to do is show me that your insurance company paid for the repair.
Yeah. Okay. So, can we take a recess so I can call him and have him fax over?
Yes. Court is in recess.
All rise.
Porque donde tú vayas, yo fui, me senté, me tomé una soda y regresé. Which is, where you're going, I already went, sat down, had a soda, and returned.
So the defendant says that the plaintiff stopped short in the intersection. That's why you rear-ended it. Is that a defense?
Absolutely not. I feel like you have to be aware of everything that's happening around you.
Being aware, absolutely. What more do you have to be than aware? Plaintiff, in terms of distance.
We have to be kind of far back, and I think either way you're going to lose the fight because you're not going to.
Well, the far back is the point, right?
You can't be a tailgater.
There you go. And a tailgater means you need to know that somebody could do something stupid in front of you.
Exactly.
Going inside the courtroom.
Okay. How many accidents did you have?
Okay. I had one in March, one in August, and then the one in September 22nd.
You folks texted each other a bit.
Correct.
Can I see your phone for the text? What you've been able to show me is that your insurance company gave you a payout. That doesn't tell me you paid the guy. In fact, that you have problems with the guy, which is what you say, tells me there's a reason to have problems, which means the work was done and didn't get paid. The critical issue for me is, was the work done after the August 7th accident? Yes. And was it done before August 22nd? We're going to do this once more. You're going to start from the beginning and get to the end, and you're not going to bounce around, and it's not going to get better as you go along. August 7th, you have a car accident. Someone rear-ends you.
Yes.
Do you get that car fixed, and if so, on what date?
It was around September 8th.
All right. So you get the car fixed on September 8th.
Yes.
How did you pay for that car to be fixed?
My insurance company paid.
You're telling me that your insurance company sent the check directly to the body shop?
Yes. I never personally, Geico sends it directly to the body shop.
So what's the body shop mad at you for?
I'm going to get to that. He wanted me to give him more money.
For what?
For the damages for 7.
But why?
He said I owe him $1,000.
Why? Why? You heard me.
I don't know.
Don't make me guess.
No,
I'm going to guess. Porque donde tú vayas, yo fui, me senté, me tomé una soda y regresé. Which is, where you're going, I already went, sat down, had a soda, and returned. So he wanted you to give him money on the slide because he overinflated it for the insurance and felt that you were making money and wanted a little piece? We all know the answer. Okay. So is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's discuss a few things. I don't know that in my 14 years on the People's Court, I've ever seen a case this convoluted. And the problem is that when you tell me that the body shop that closed, that repaired your car, never gave you the car back, then I don't understand how your car could have been repaired and hit by him. All right. Then I hear that you fax him, which he has, and he could only have if you fax it to him, page 2 and 3 of a prior bill trying to extract more money out of him, right?
Correct.
And then when he insists on page 1, we finally find out that what you sent him was one from another accident, which kind of sounds like you're slimy, right? When you start to add all this stuff up, you make me all kinds of nervous. You make me all kinds of nervous. Therefore, I'm left to my own resources to try to figure out what this speed of a hit would cause. When I'm left to my own resources, usually nobody leaves here terribly happy, because I do take into account the things that concern me about people's credibility. You don't get your lost time from work. I see the bill for the ambulance is $738. I'm going to call the damage to the car $500, and I'm going to issue a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,238. That's my judgment.
And so with that, the defendant comes out of the courtroom on the losing end of this case. What do you make of this whole thing?
Well, from the beginning, we offered to give him $500 in good faith because we did actually hit his car.
Yeah.
But the extent of the damage that he's claiming that we made was a little too much. So this is why we winded up here. And I'm happy that $500 is being given to him. And at the same time, he's happy. We're happy. I get to keep my customer, and that's it.
Okay, right down this way. That's the definition of a good decision. Step on in here. Oh, thank you very much. What about your story?
I mean, what can I say? It was the judge's decision.
Your story was so all over the place.
I know. You know what it was? That he confused that he tried to play PI, like FBI, trying to do an investigation. I wasn't the one that they faxed it over to him. I called up the
Your
body.
story just had so many inconsistencies in the courtroom that you lose credibility.
I can't do anything else. I got the medical bill. That's what I'm happy for.
All right, Harvey.
Bottom line is plaintiff's credibility was severely impaired, but the fact is there was damage, and that's why the result. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, R.L. Herring. He says he bought a pickup truck from the defendant, and the guy sold him a truck with a bad engine. The defendant's salesman's as slimy as they come in the used car world. He wants his $2,600 returned and is suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Mike Nicholson. He says he took the Ford pickup truck back from the plaintiff because the guy was being such a pain about the rear suspension and applied the $2,600 to another vehicle he purchased from him. That vehicle was a 2003 Suburban. And once the plaintiff had the Suburban and was driving it, he asked for the $2,600 back on the Ford. He tried to explain that the money was applied to the Suburban, but the guy doesn't understand. So here they are. He's accused of trucking it up.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
He traded the car in another vehicle. That's what the lawsuit means.
Wait. You traded the car in on another vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Okay, wait a second. Because I was under the impression from reading your complaint that you returned the car and they now have the car and the money. You actually did business with them again and got a different car?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff bought a pickup from the defendant, and it had a bad engine. But the defendant says the guy was gunning for a free whip. It's the case of whip it bad.
Litigants have been sworn you in.
Thank you, Douglas. R.L. Herring?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Herring, you're suing Mr. Mickelson, who is the owner of an auto sales place. You don't want us to mention the name of the place, for $2,600 that you paid towards a truck that you returned to him, and he refuses to return your money. Tell me what's going on.
Okay. On August 23rd, 13, I purchased, I put a down payment of $2,000 down on the truck. Okay. Well, what happened is when I came back on the 21st to get the tags and the registration, I paid an additional $300.
For the tags and the registration?
Yes.
So you put out a total of $2,600.
Yes.
Can I see the contract for the truck?
Okay.
Okay.
Which I know.
$2,000 down, or $2,000 plus $600 in taxes? The total purchase price for the truck was $5,686.93.
Yes.
All right. So the rest of it you were going to pay how?
Monthly, $265 a month.
Okay. And so you were financing the rest of the amount. Okay.
Yes.
So then what happens?
What happened is 3-4 days later, the truck was making a ticking sound.
A few days later, you started hearing noises.
Yes.
And you took the truck to your mechanic.
I took it to my mechanic.
And your mechanic said what?
He said the engine was no good.
Okay.
Okay.
And you had a warranty with these folks, right?
Yes, I did.
A 90-day warranty.
90-day warranty.
All right. So when did you return the truck?
3 or 4 days later, I brought the truck back, and I spoke to a gentleman there, salesman.
Okay.
And he told me, said it wasn't the engine, it was oil.
So what did you folks do when he had the first complaint?
The tapping noise that he heard from was an exhaust leak at the manifold.
Okay.
Which was there when he took it. Okay. Then he brought it back. I think we did a valve cover gasket or something.
No, what'd you do about the exhaust leak in the manifold?
I sent it out to another shop to have it repaired.
Okay.
But he also got a warranty on the truck. He did not have to bring it to us. He took it to any mechanic.
A third-party warranty?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, got it. So he could take the truck wherever he wanted to get fixed.
That's correct. It's right here.
Let me see that. And the warranty company would pay for the repair.
Oh yeah, it's not through us. It's through.
And did it cover a new engine?
No, there's nothing wrong with the engine. I still have the truck now. It runs and drives fine.
So how did you end up leaving the truck with them? So now they have the money and the truck.
Okay, it's obviously they was not going to fix the truck.
Okay. Why didn't you just have him deal with this third party at his place and wash your hands of the situation?
We just tried to help him out.
That'll show you.
He actually traded in another vehicle. He what? He traded the car in another vehicle. That's what the lawsuit mine's about.
Wait. You traded the car in on another vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Okay, wait a second, because I was under the impression from reading your complaint that you returned the car and they now had the car and the money. You actually did business with them again and got a different car and traded this car in? What are you suing for?
For $2,000.
What was the new vehicle?
He bought a 03 Suburban, and
this was a what? A 97 Ford pickup?
Yes.
And the 03 Suburban, can I see the paperwork on the 03 Suburban that he signed?
Yes.
How do you figure you got the 03 Suburban without a $2,600 deposit? That deposit rolled into the Suburban. That's what I'm going to see now, right?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is your signature down here. Take a look at the circled part. Your $2,600 is how you bought the Suburban.
No, I give $1,000 for the Suburban.
He did put an additional
$1,000.
Yes,
but look at how much was the price of the Suburban?
It's right there. I believe it was around $5,800 total. And
so
then
the $2,600 that you want him to pay you back for, that you feel you got cheated out of, is $2,600 that you, in your new contract for the Suburban, put down as a down payment on the Suburban. The purchase price on the Suburban is $6,509. $2,600 is you're giving credit for right here. And then I see also that you paid an additional $1,000.
He lost about $1,000 on the truck by trading it in on paper.
And this was something that was explained to him?
Yes, this is my sales manager here. He went over with him 2 or 3 times.
Come on up, please.
He wants to keep on trucking for free. Will the plaintiff get $2,600? Judge Million rules next. So, what is the oldest car you would buy? Going into that. Oldest car you would buy?
3 years old.
Really? 3 years old? Let's go over here.
You know, I'm not into cars, so maybe 10 years.
Okay, that's why you're not into cars. What do you think?
Like last year's is all.
Oh, last year's. Valley girl. Just kidding. Going inside the courtroom, I shouldn't have said.
Did you explain this to him, that if he wanted to trade the car in? I don't get it. Why would he agree to take a $1,000 loss instead of just using the warranty company to fix whatever was wrong with it?
I don't know. The truck that he bought was a pickup truck, okay? So the back suspension was a little sagging, but that was like that when he bought it, okay? That's why I said if he wanted to put the air shocks, if he'd buy the air shocks, I would take care of it. That would take care of all the problems in the truck.
Hold on one second before you move on. Show me the evidence that there's something wrong with the truck. Did you took it to your mechanic? Do you have something from your mechanic?
No.
How are you going to prove? See, that's step one to me saying you owe this guy his money back, is you proving to me what you're saying. Otherwise, you just went in and changed your mind, didn't like the way this one drove and wanted a Suburban and signed a contract agreeing to all this, whatever's in there. How am I supposed to turn around and undo your contract? Their defense to this case is, Judge, we went over this with him. He signed it. He took the Suburban. This is a new deal that supersedes the old one. And why are they not right? Who's the guy with you who wanted to say something?
No, but he was on witness. He seen me, with the money.
What did you want to say earlier?
You speak Spanish.
Seriously? You're going to interrupt me to speak to me in a different language. ¿Qué es lo que usted me quería decir anteriormente?
Lo que pasó que cuando yo compré la Suburban, ellos me dijeron que me iban a poner el dinero en la Suburban.
Oh, it's really your Suburban?
Yeah.
Oh, you were slipping him the money to pay. Why didn't you just buy it under your name? You don't have a license?
No.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, we're done. We're done. There's a new contract. You signed the new contract, and there's no reason for me not to abide by what was good enough for you. If it was good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Verdict for the defendant.
All right, so the judge rules against the plaintiff, who's right here. Why is it that you thought the judge would undo the deal that you made?
Oh, because a number of times I took the truck back, and he knew it. There was a problem with the suspension. And they tried to fix it, and they made it worse.
So?
It's done. It's over.
All right. Right around the corner this way, okay? So come on out here. Tell me, what do you make out of this situation? Nobody likes the used car, guys.
I know, we all get a bad rap.
Right.
But we're not bad guys.
Really?
And he didn't like this first car, he wanted to buy a Suburban, and that's what he did. He's the one that picked it out. I said, we're not selling this. You look at it, make sure it's right, and that's what he did.
Did he understand this deal when he signed this contract with you?
We explained to him 3 or 4 times. He came back a couple times to look at it, and we did it before it was all done.
Mm-hmm. How come he doesn't understand this money applied?
I have no idea. Apparently, the other gentleman bought it and gave him the money, and maybe it's probably the other gentleman doesn't understand.
Okay, Harvey.
Okay, Kurt, a couple of things. First of all, you just cannot win a case like this without expert testimony. If you are not an expert in the area that is the essence of the lawsuit, at the very least you have to bring in some kind of a notarized statement from somebody who is qualified to speak to the subject that you're arguing. The second thing I want to say is everybody has probably done it, but it's a terrible idea to drive and text at the same time. You look down for 1 second and really bad things can happen.
Don't text and drive. The People's Court is a Ralph Edwards Studelet production.
It was just unhealthy, so you left your sons and wife behind?
No, I left everybody to find another place to live.
Why don't you just do that during the daytime? Why would you have to leave your family?
I worked
Is there a
during the
different
daytime,
reason
Your
you
Honor.
left your family?
What's that?
These are the plaintiffs, James and Lori. James says the defendant, his former landlord, failed to make the necessary repairs on his apartment after Hurricane Sandy, and rainwater poured into the home, causing a bad mold problem. He had to move his wife and kids out, forcing him to incur all sorts of moving and relocation expenses. And they're suing the negligent defendant for the $5,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Angelo Vassallo. He says the plaintiff came to him 10 months after Sandy hit and complained about a little drip of water coming through a crack in the kitchen window. He repaired the window, lickety-split. Then a few weeks later, the guy told him he was leaving his wife and family because of the leak. Huh? The plaintiff has lost his marbles. He owes nothing and is sure the judge will agree. He's accused of lazy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, James and Lori, you've asked us not to mention your last names, and we'll respect that. You're suing Angelo and Alberto Vassallo for $5,000. You say you're out actually more than that because according to you, he breached a rental agreement, causing you to move out. Tell me what happened.
Your Honor, on September 1st of 2012, myself and my wife signed a 1-year lease agreement. We moved in. When we first moved in, the carpet was filthy. The carpet was filthy. He said he was going to clean the carpet. He never cleaned the carpet. Okay, we let that go. We moved in, got everything settled in. Hurricane Sandy came around. When Hurricane Sandy came around, the electric came off. Rain came. The rain came, and water started pouring into the kitchen window. What happened then was I called Angelo Vassallo, and I told him that we had water coming in. He told me that we would get it fixed. I mentioned it to his brother. They said, okay. After that, nothing happened. Nothing got corrected. A couple of weeks went by. I asked him again. We had rain. You know, rain would come and go. I asked him about it. Never took care of it. Third time I asked him again. A couple months went down the road. He said he was going to sit down. He was going to take care of everything. We always were taking care of things, but nothing got taken care of. Every time he'd come over to the house, he'd start rolling his eyes. He started rolling his eyes at me, you know. It was always something else. Okay. After that, we had a problem with the toilet. We had a problem with the toilet. The water wasn't flushing properly. At that junction, he came over. He started raising the water flow up and down. I mean, there was constant problems with this house. Well, you know what? I let it go. After 10 and a half months, I decided to move out. I moved out of the premises.
Were you under a lease at the time?
I moved out, just myself. Removed myself from the premises because it was just unhealthy for me. I mean, I was talking
you moved out and you left who behind?
I left my two boys and my wife behind. I moved out to find another premise to live.
Wait, hold on. It was just unhealthy, so you left your sons and wife behind?
No, I left everybody to find another place to live.
Why don't you just do that during the daytime? Why would you have to leave your family? Was there a different reason you left your family?
What's that?
Was there a different reason that you left your family?
I left my family because of the stress and the pressure that we had going on with this situation.
Sorry, between you and your wife's stress and pressure, or did you leave your family in harm's way with this unhealthy situation so that you could breathe, but they couldn't? I don't know. It's one or the other. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
I left my family because of this unhealthy situation.
But it was so unhealthy you left your kids there and your wife.
Well, I had to find a place to live. I couldn't find a place to live.
Why don't you just do it like the rest of us and do it during the daytime and go back to your family?
I had a job to do every day. I had to go to work every day.
Why do you have to leave your family in order to find a place? Does anybody else leave their family to find a rental place?
If need be necessary, yes, you have to.
I've been around a long time. Okay, I've never heard of that. See, my concern is just that I need you to be candid because you are the plaintiff in this case. You are suing. I have to believe you for you to win.
Okay.
And in the first sign of something that sounds amiss, you're picking up your paper, shuffling them, and you know, tell me what is. You have to be straight with me because I'm going to go that way, and they're going to say something totally different. You know that, right?
Oh well, I understand that. There's my side, there's his side, and then
all right. So you moved out and left your family behind in order to find an apartment, and no other reason.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Are you the wife?
Yes.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
The pictures show what you took pictures of when you no longer wanted to live there.
You can call my mother.
We can call your mother.
I mean.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So he moves out, leaves his family behind. Does that make him a bad person?
Yes.
Is there any justification if he says, look, I got to work, I got to make sure I can pay the bills, so I'll move into this place and leave my family here?
That's what makes him a bad person.
Makes him a bad person. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, the tragic hero is supposed to sacrifice himself for his lady love. Instead, he sacrifices his lady love and his kids for himself.
It's kind of the captain goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I got to say, it's really weird going inside the courtroom.
Tell me about the problem there.
There was problems from the rain coming in, from the storm. They did not fix everything. Through the stress, my husband had to leave. Sometimes some people can't handle certain things. And he left to just get away from the situation because it caused him a lot of stress.
It's 10 months after the hurricane?
Well, no. Every time it would rain, it would pour through the window.
Okay. Do you have any pictures?
Yes.
Can I see them? Thank you. Were you paid up on your rent?
Yes.
Did you ever call a handyman or anybody to fix it and then withhold it from the rent?
We didn't have the money to withhold it. But we did tell him several times, sat him down several times, and said, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. And every time, yes. And then finally, it was 11 months, he finally fixed it.
He did fix it?
He finally fixed it after the 11th month. But after, well, the aggravation of asking him over and over and over again.
Okay, and so you want him to pay you not just to move, the broker fee and the moving fees. You want him to pay your first month's rent in the next place, your last month's rent, your security deposit in the next place. Why would he do that? That's rent. If you're not paying rent there, you have to pay rent somewhere. You'd get a bonus if he did.
Oh no, I put down what was out of my pocket due to this. I planned on staying there with the Vasallos. And when I sat down and talked to him about it.
If you were going to stay, see, here's the problem that I'm having. You're telling me the situation's so intolerable. Not only should I let you out of your lease, but I should force them, because they are forcing you to live in an uninhabitable environment, to pay $5,000 to you. But you're telling me I would have stayed.
No, Your Honor.
If they would have fixed everything properly.
If they had fixed everything properly, I was looking to stay.
Let me hear your side, please, Mr. Vasallo.
All right, there was this problem with the leak.
When did you first learn about it?
Upon May the 13th.
You didn't hear about it back during Hurricane Sandy?
No, that wasn't done, not that way back. He only moved in September, so he's telling me that in 1 month that thing was leaking
Well,
already.
no, what he's saying is that due to the hurricane, the thing was leaking. Is that not true?
No.
You don't think that's true because the first time you hear of it, according to you, is in May?
Yes, man.
All right. How do you hear about it? Telephonically?
He called me up and he told me that,
Does anybody have phone records?
no.
Can you prove that you had constant complaints for 10 months? If you don't have phone records, by some other way? Did you send certified letters? Do you have emails? Do you have texts? Anything to prove your version versus his?
If the pictures show it.
Well, no. The pictures show what you took pictures of when you no longer wanted to live there.
You can call my mother.
We can call your mother.
She was there and she saw it happening, and
Tell me, who's the gentleman with you?
This is my brother.
Okay. So do you have the repair bill from fixing
Yes,
it?
ma'am.
Let me see it. So when do you find out that he moves out? Like, what's your version?
In the month of July, he comes over to me. He calls me up. It was on Saturday afternoon. He calls me up. He says, I want to talk to you. I says, come over. I'll leave it next door. I says, come over. He came over to my house. We sit down in the diner room. I says, Matty, what's the matter? I mean, what's the problem? Oh, I'm leaving my wife and my kids because of this leak that is making me so... I says, I got really mad. I got up and I says, you what? You're telling me that you're going to leave your wife and kids behind? Abandon them instead of protecting them for that?
But I don't understand. If it's July, and according to you, you had it fixed in June, what was he saying, that the fix didn't take?
No, because he was looking for money.
Oh, so he didn't say the fix didn't take. He just said it was so stressful that I want you to pay me money?
Well, he wanted it, some money from me because of the audition that he caused stress.
Okay.
So I told him, I says, leave my house. You ain't come here and you're telling me that you're going to leave your wife and kids because of this. I says, you got to be out of your mind.
Okay.
About 3 weeks later, he had to pay the month of August. He didn't pay until about the 6th or the 7th. He comes over to me and he said, I want to be compensated before he pays me the rent. I says, compensate for what? Compensated because of the stress. I said, the stress? Okay, what do you want? I says, you want money? He says, yeah. I says, how much do you want? He says, you tell me. I says, okay, you want $400 is enough? Give me the $2,000, you keep the $400. He says, I'll be right back. He went next door, get the money, come back, he give it to me, shake my hand, thank you very much, and all that. We're going to be friends. We still got to be friends. About 3 weeks later...
Hold on one second. Did you pay reduced rent for that following month?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay, go on.
About 2 weeks later, he calls me again. He says, I want to talk to you. He says, he's going to move out. The 1st of September, she's going to give me the key. He says, will you give me back the security? I says, no, that's no problem. You give me the key, I give you the security. And that was the end of it.
Okay, and did you give him the security?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you kidding me? Didn't he break the lease?
Wait.
No.
His lease was...
He had one more month in and you were going to let it slide.
You stayed to the end.
Hold on. Oh, you stayed to the end. He didn't. Got it.
We all stayed to the end.
Okay. So, will you give me back the security? And then you said yes. Then you gave him back security, and then he sued you for $5,000?
That's it.
Is this a great country or what?
That's why we're here.
You walk up to a guy, you say, give me money because I have this problem, and then the guy gives you money. He says, pay only $2,000, you can keep the $400, so you settle it. And then you shake hands, and then you go and you sue the guy anyway and say, I want $5,000. That's a little odd, right? Why would that be legal? You do understand the premise of a settlement, right?
I understand the premise of a settlement, Your Honor, but also he was in breach of our agreement.
So then don't settle. Nobody forced you to settle. Well, those 400 looked pretty green to you at that moment. You took the deal, and then you come to court anyway? The deal was to compensate you for the great stress and heartache of a leak. So you got $400 knocked off your rent for your troubles, and which is a settlement, And then unlike everybody else who gets a settlement and has to shut up and take it and be happy, you come to court and sue for $5,000. Why would that be appropriate?
Why would that be appropriate? Because it was an inconvenience to move. We had to move. We had to move to this inhabitable.
You had to move because your lease was up. You had to move anyway.
I had to move because of this inhabitable condition.
No, you didn't. You lived out the whole lease, and then you moved, and you took $400 for your troubles. What planet? Do you seriously think that this was going to go well for you?
I fulfilled my obligation, my contract.
Yeah. Now, right now, I'm going to fulfill my obligation, which is to enforce the settlement you entered into and to make you actually abide by the terms of your legal agreement to accept $400 for your troubles. My verdict is for the defendant.
No problem.
And so the plaintiff loses his case. Step on in here because the judge enforces the settlement that you made with the defendant yourself.
I feel it was. I don't feel it was acceptable, and I feel that justice will be served.
How will justice be served? Justice was just served.
It was not. I have to let it go. Turn it over.
No.
I have to turn it over now. It's out of my control.
To who? Turn it over.
Just let it go.
I have to let it go.
Let it go. Yeah. Move on.
Move on. It's over with.
Okay. Right.
It's over with.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Right around the corner this way. All right. Jose. Okay. Come on in here. What's this all about for you?
That was very, very desirable because I think it was the whole truth, and the judge made the right decision.
What do you think he was trying to do?
No, still take more money from me. He already took it.
Are you rich?
No. I've been working for 52 years.
You get the rent paid this month?
No.
Not yet? Harvey?
There's a real simple principle. Once you settle a dispute, you can't then reopen it and go back to court. You do not get a second bite of the apple. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, understanding Allah. He says he rented a furnished room from the defendant, and when he returned to it after a brief hospital stay, his bed was missing. He had $750 hidden under his mattress, and when he went to look for it, it was gone. What the plaintiff did was illegal. He never gave her permission to go into his room. He's suing for $4,250 for his missing cash and defamation. This is the defendant, Georgia Hayes. She says the plaintiff was a few weeks behind on his rent, then went missing for a few weeks. When she went into his room, she discovered bed bugs and had the mattress removed and sprayed the room. Now he's claiming he had money under the mattress. If he had all that money, why didn't he use it to pay the rent he owed her? Why? Because he's a big liar, that's why. She's accused of stealing the guy's stash. The defendant and his father countersued for $3,050 for back rent and emotional distress.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
We don't want him in our house. I feel like a hostage in my own home. I have young children.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff, Understanding Allah is his name, claims that his landlord stole money from under his mattress while he was in the hospital. But the defendant says he went missing, and she went into his room and found bed bugs, and there was no money. It's the case of lack of understanding.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Understanding Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. AKA William Crenshaw.
Yes.
You are suing Georgia Hay for $4,250, $750 of it, money that you say is missing that you feel she stole, and $3,500 for defamation of character. You are counterclaiming against him $3,050 for emotional distress and back rent. Okay, let me hear from you first.
In the month of October, I was hospitalized. I was hospitalized in the hospital. I was admitted for mild heart attack and stress. And after coming out the hospital, Mrs. Georgia Hayes knocked on my door. And
how long had you been living there?
I've been living there since February.
Okay, and you were on a week to week. You would pay rent
a week
by
to
the
week. It's a rooming house.
It's a rooming house.
Yes.
Okay, and how many people are living there?
More than 8. 4 on my floor, 4 on the floor below me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you change your name to Understanding Allah? I just have to know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when did you actually legally change it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, how long ago did you do that?
40 years ago.
That many?
Yes.
40 years ago?
Yes.
What do people call you?
Understanding.
People do call you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So were you behind on your rent when you went into the hospital?
I was behind 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
And when you come back, you noticed that what?
I noticed that my bed was removed from my room.
How did you notice?
Was no bed there.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant removed and put back. I'm like, oh, that was a little askew. I didn't know what you meant. So the bed was missing.
My bed was missing, which is placed downstairs by her door, which she lives in the basement.
Why was his bed down by your basement door, by your door?
I took it out.
Why?
And put it downstairs because when I saw Understanding 2 weeks ago, the room was in deplorable condition.
2 weeks before. What do you mean 2 weeks ago? You mean 2 weeks before he was hospitalized?
No, because I saw him. He told me that he was hospitalized.
Is he still there?
And he got his things there. So technically, the law states I can't throw him out. He has my keys.
Why are your things still there?
My things are still there because I bringing her to court for illegal eviction, which I filed in the courts. You understand? For illegal evictions. For my room was rented to me with a bed, with a dresser, and a
Why was the bed downstairs?
Because I took it out.
Because he wasn't paying his rent?
He wasn't paying, and plus it was in deplorable condition. I was scared about bed bugs.
What do you mean you were scared about bed bugs?
When I saw the place was a mess, okay? There was all kind of ashes all over the floor. The room was a mess. I didn't rent my room like that. My house is in spectacular condition. Rent the room? Yeah, it's all room sharing because my brother lives up there, and he needed roommates. So basically, every time I called him, he said, oh, he's going to pay me the following week. This been going on for a long time. The agreement is if you cannot afford to stay there, then you can.
Okay, but why did you move his bed? Because he wasn't paying rent?
He wasn't paying, and then I was scared about bed bugs, so I took it downstairs to spray it. Because
then you put it right back upstairs,
no, I
right?
didn't put it back up.
Right,
because
so you really pulled it out because you didn't want him sleeping there because he wasn't paying rent.
Basically,
which is the subject of his, quote, illegal eviction. But then when he gets out of the hospital, what happened?
He was already out of the hospital. He was not in the hospital during that time.
Did you change the locks on him, or is he still there?
He got the keys. He chooses not to come in there. Every time he comes, I'm at work or I'm downstairs in my basement.
Do you come in and out of that place as you please?
No, I don't.
Well, do you have the keys?
I have the keys.
So you could. And you still have your stuff there. How is that an illegal lockout?
It's illegal lockout because according to...
Because she moved your bed?
Because she removed my bed illegally, which was...
Okay, but then you could take your bed and put it back, and then the problem solved. It's not like she changed your locks or anything.
I cannot take the bed and put it back because she put it in the basement, and I'm being threatened while being in the building by her brother, who's sitting over there on the side.
And what did he threaten you with?
Now he's just being silly. The testimony continues.
His lifestyle is not our lifestyle. If you want to live the lifestyle, live it outside. Don't live it in our house. He's into some drugs, whatever activity he's doing, because he have an individual that came looking for him and kicked the door off.
The plaintiff says while he was in the hospital, the defendant stole money from under his mattress. And he says she 86'd his mattress. He just said he got threatened. Let's listen.
He threatened me like, I'm gonna take the key from you. You're gonna have to give me the key. He's putting his foot between my door, and I'm asking him to get from between my door. On several different occasions, I had to call the police to resolve the problem.
Why don't you just resolve the problem by getting your stuff out?
Exactly.
No, yeah. Why don't you just do that? That's within your power to just get your stuff out and move on.
Exactly. But
exactly what? Why don't you do it?
But what's happening now? I'm missing $750 that I had between my mattress to pay my rent because on several occasions...
Except for that you hadn't paid the rent. You were admission for 2 weeks. So if you had $750 under your mattress, why didn't you just pay the rent with it?
But just like she just...
And if she stole $750 from underneath your mattress, you think she put the mattress back and just take the money and just kind of slink out of there.
Just like what she frequently said, that
You have a $3,500 claim for defamation of character. Tell me about that.
The defamation of character is that she ran through the community and through neighbors in the building, telling them that I was a drug abuser and the character of people that I socialized with was drug abusers and things of that nature. And I told her I have no involvement with that.
You're no longer living there?
I'm no longer staying there right now until I find a situation what's going to happen in court with the illegal eviction of taking my bed out of the room. That's illegal.
Have you begun eviction proceedings?
Yeah, I started it this week. And he's been sending me to housing court. He never showed up last Friday, and then the judge dismissed it. And now I got another letter to go housing court again. So I don't know what's his game. If you want to leave, leave.
Oh, he's got some game going. No, he's got some game going.
Just
That's for
leave.
sure.
We don't want him in our house. I feel like a hostage in my own home. I have young children, and if this person is not paying, I have a budget. I have to pay.
Who owns the
mortgage.
house?
I do. Me and my son.
Your brother doesn't own the house?
No, but he stays with me to help me out because I'm a single mother and I have young children in the house.
Yeah, come on up to the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. My name is Andy Johnson. I'm just here to just speak the truth, my sister, she's hardworking. She's a nurse. She do 2 jobs. And she decided to give Mr. Understanding, so-called Mr. Understanding, a chance. Well, what Mr. Understanding have done, ever since he moved into our house, right, he have made me and my sister and my family a living hell. My sister's, she go through a lot of stress due to his lifestyle. His lifestyle is not our lifestyle. If you want to live the lifestyle, live it outside. Don't live it in our house. He's into some drugs, whatever activity he's doing, because he have an individual that came looking for him and kicked the door off. Kicked the front door off, and she have a police report looking for Mr. Understanding, stating that he owed money. After that, she gave him another chance, and this is how he repaid my sister. This is how you pay my sister.
The defamation of character claim is for what?
It's for her slandering me through the community just as well as he just slandered me, telling me about drug activities and things.
Somebody kicked the front door down and say you owed him money for drugs?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He's aware of the situation. The way the situation was, there was a young lady that came by to visit me. When she came by to visit me, her boyfriend happened to come to the door and ask, was his girlfriend there? I said, yeah, here she is. She went out. I shut my door. The guy kicked the door. When he kicked the door, I pursued, following behind the guy, called the police, had him arrested, called the landlord. Me and her went down to the district attorney's office and filed a claim against him, which I also have an order of protection against him. And he's aware of the situation.
Okay. They think that you do drugs, and you are suing them for thinking that?
Of course.
Or for what? You said to the community. To who?
The other residents that live in the building, one of them approached me and told me that she really requested her to sign a paper, in regards to that information. You understand? The woman denied that because she had never seen nothing, did nothing, and she didn't see me that type of character.
You have a claim against him for $2,000 in emotional distress?
Yes.
Because what? Because it's a headache to be a landlord?
No. See what happened? Every time he does this, it put me in a really bad situation. I have young children in my house. We're scared. He has the key. We don't know who's coming in. When the door got banged off, I was lucky to be home that night because I work sometimes nights, evening, or days. And I was so fortunate to be home that night that I could have protected my children. And then when this happened, you're just nervous. You cannot be living in the same apartment. It's not even an apartment. It's a room.
Is this a misunderstanding? Will the plaintiff get $4,250? Jamilian rules next. So do you think it is enough for him to say, I had $750 under the mattress, therefore he wins? Is that enough?
No, I don't think so, because how can he prove that he had the $750?
It's his word. It's his word. Is that enough?
Definitely not. It's his word against theirs. So, I mean, how can you prove it?
Well, that's the question. When it's a stalemate, what happens?
Well, first of all, I'm thinking of the infestation. So there was a health risk there. So the landlord had every right.
But what about the $750?
That was just, in my opinion, it was convenience. It was a convenient $750.
Understanding all is pulling a scam.
Right.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have any evidence of when the last time you paid rent is?
No, I don't, because papers was in my room and all the stuff was packed in one bag, and just couldn't find things.
I don't understand. When you pay rent, you should keep proof of it, because do you give receipts or no?
I did.
I gave receipts.
Do you give them to him?
Yeah, sometimes he say he don't want it, but I start telling him you need to keep it. But I did let him sign this paper that if he doesn't pay after a week, for him to just take his things and go. And he signed it. He said, yes, Miss Georgia, I'll do that. I will go.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you? That doesn't mean you don't have to go through eviction court.
This is what's happening right now.
Listen. Everybody stop. All right. I have a headache, and I've only lived with this case a few minutes. I mean, all right, first of all, let's go over your claim against her. What proof do you have that you had $750 under your mattress?
I just want on the statement that, on the oath, to the best of my ability. You understand?
You understand, though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The problem I'm having.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. As for your claim against her for defamation of character, because they think that your lifestyle is consistent with too many goings and comings or whatever else, that's their opinion. And you haven't really made out a case for defamation. You haven't told me how it's hurt you. You haven't proven how many people they said it to. That's just not enough for me to say, hey, you owe him $3,500. Hey. All right. On their claim against you, when I ask you to prove up how much rent you've paid, you are completely unable to do so. They say you were 3 weeks behind when you went into the hospital. You said in your complaint you were 1 week, and then you say in court, well, it was 2 weeks. I don't know that you're exactly up on how many weeks behind you were. I'm going to go by what she says. You can't keep your stuff there and not pay rent. You either have to get out and go ahead and sue her for an illegal lockout and try to collect money if you want to do that. But if your stuff is still there and you're coming and going and you have access, your stuff is still there and you're coming and going, you have access. Now, how much access does he have when you took away the bed? You don't get to take away something you rented it to him with and then still charge him full rent. That's not how it works, okay? I am going to order him to pay you some rent because his things are still there and he hasn't removed them. But I'm going to take into account that you have removed his bed for one reason, and it's not bed bugs.
No, it's not only.
Yeah, I know it's not. The amount I'm going to order him to pay in rent is $400, not $1,050. I highly recommend that you get your stuff out of there because if she wins the eviction case, you're going to have to end up paying court costs and a lot of other, it's just not worth it. Do you want to live like this? How do you can't possibly understand Allah. Well, but if you do, why would you want to torment and live like this? I know you're angry, but then get your stuff out and then take a recourse in court that you feel that you're still entitled to take. But why would you have one leg here and one leg there? You don't want to live there. You're not living there. You're just keeping your stuff there for spite. On your lawsuit against her, 0. On her lawsuit against you, because your items are still there and taking into account that she removed the bed, I'm going to order a $400 rent payment. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the plaintiff's right here. What's your understanding of the verdict?
She made illegal action of coming into my room, taking my bed, so she should be responsible for her. Are
you gonna get your stuff and get out of there once and for all, or what?
I'm going to get my stuff and have her back in court right away.
You're really going after her?
I'm going after her. She's not going to get my money.
What do you have against her, sir?
Just the fact that she's just not following the protocol that was supposed to be followed here in America.
Okay.
Thank God to America.
All right, so step right in here next to me and tell me what you're feeling about this outcome and what you hear him saying.
He is a person who needs to get a life, get out of my house, and go get his own home. These are the things the law neglect to look at. People who are opportunists, they cannot, because the law states, oh, you cannot evict somebody after 30 days of living there, they use that to their advantage, and the law needs to be changed.
All right. Okay. Over to Harvey.
So if you move out of an apartment and you leave stuff behind, I am telling you, send the landlord an email, something that you can document, saying that I may have left something behind, but I am out of this place. Then the landlord may have to remove it and charge you for the cost of removal, but at least the landlord can say you hadn't yet moved and then keep charging you rent. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Lydia Rainbow. She says she hired the defendant's moving company to transport her belongings to her new apartment. And the guy's men damaged a lot of her things. Her dresser was cracked. And she's missing some personal items. The defendant refuses to make good movers. For the $500 she's owed. This is the defendant, Lawrence Samuels. He says the plaintiff's a kooky kind of person who showed him the inside of her kitchen cabinets, which contained food from before the Roosevelt era. Bottom line, they moved her stuff. She signed off on the move, paid them in full, and now she's suing? Good one. He's accused of not moving it along.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
He said, you better tip those men real good. And I said, who are you? I said, first of all, I tip what I could afford. And he argued with me that if I don't tip good, I don't know what's going to happen.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired a mover and says the defendant damaged a dresser and lost other stuff. But the defendant says the plaintiff's a nut who kept food in her cabinets from the FDR era. It's the case of the New Deal is now gnarly.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right. Lydia Rainbow, you are suing Lawrence Samuels and his company. You've asked us not to mention the company name.
Yes,
is that
that's
correct?
Yes. Thank you.
For $500 in damages that they did during the move, according to you. Okay. Tell me what happened.
Okay. When they came in, they started to pack and do whatever has to be done. But they must have called Mr. Samuels and told him that I don't have everything packed.
Well, were you supposed to have everything packed?
Yeah, I did the best I could. I was all alone in this situation.
Okay, all right, but were you supposed to have everything packed? And
yes,
you didn't? Okay.
yes.
All right.
But okay, so Mr. Samuels called me on the phone and said that the move is off. You're not ready. And he was yelling at me, and I was getting I'm tense enough about the move. So he said, you better tip those men real good. And I said, who are you? I said, first of all, I tip what I could afford. And he argued with me that if I don't tip good, I don't know what's going to happen. But I took care of them to my affordability. But the move finally finished after 8 o'clock. I didn't notice the damage until the night. When they left already, I saw the base of my kitchen chair was gone.
May I see the pictures?
Sure. It's a wood covering that goes over that part. Now it's just a skeleton.
So it's not that the base is missing from the chair, it's that there's a little wooden strip that goes in that metal.
I didn't know
That's what you're saying, right?
You're right.
Okay, and apparently that fell out during the move, and this is the credenza, chips in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to
chip on top. Okay. Chip on bottom. Okay, bedroom dresser. Crack on left corner. That's pretty big. Bedroom night table, chips inside drawer. Okay, when did you notice all of these damages?
I noticed it in the evening. Well, mostly the chair.
When did you notify them of the damage?
I notified Greg, the supervisor, because I dealt with him.
When did you notify Greg, the supervisor?
Next morning.
The next morning. How did you notify Greg, the supervisor? By telephone?
I called on his cell phone.
Okay, and is it accurate that you folks are notified the next morning?
No, it's totally inaccurate.
Okay, what's your version on that?
I haven't this is the first I heard of any pictures, the first notification.
Have you met her before, or are you?
Yes, I gave her the estimate.
Okay.
I was at her home.
Okay. Do you have a man named Greg working with you?
Yes, he does.
And has he not, before you came to the People's Court today, I assume you talked to Greg. Does Greg say that she called him the next day?
No.
Because you hand me something with the name and address and date deliberately photocopied off?
I should have brought the original.
No, you should have. Why would you do this other than to hide from me?
I'm a lawyer.
So how do you protect yourself from a mover?
You have to prove that nothing's broken.
What do you do?
Take pictures.
Okay, but what if it's like a scratch here and there and they say, well, I didn't scratch it? What do you do?
I don't know. I guess you need photographic evidence.
Photographic evidence. There is one other thing. I'll explain. We'll go into the courtroom.
What does Greg say?
Greg says that he heard from her about only one item, the nick on the dresser, about 2 weeks later. I have never heard from this lady to this date.
This isn't a nick on a dresser. It's like a cracked chunk of the dresser.
Okay, but...
And I got the bills, what I paid
Right.
The lady went to the state of New Jersey, the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey, Department of Consumer Affairs.
Meaning she filed a complaint.
She filed a complaint and a claim. That's handled. They then contact me as the owner and demand that I write an answer to her claims, which I did.
Can I see the answer you wrote?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, this is your response to the Division of Consumer Affairs?
Yes. To the
When I first visited Ms. Rainbow's residence, I spent over an hour with her discussing how much a move would cost. She was expressing distress from her financial condition. At times, she was treated with kindness and compassion to the extent where she asked me to check out her kitchen cabinets. There were piles of food that were 4 or 5 years old.
That is not true.
Why are you telling the Division of Consumer Affairs that? Let's assume it is true. Why are you telling them that? On the day of the move, they were only find in shambles stuff all over the place. Some of the furniture actually blocked by stuff. They felt sorry for her, so they went ahead and did tasks they had never done before, like removing the bedding from her bed. You hadn't even removed the bedding from your bed?
I don't remember.
Oh, I mean, come on. You gotta help yourself a little, right? You know, I mean,
could
come
have sworn I took it off.
My men deny her claims completely except for a small repair on the dresser. No good deed goes unpunished. This is extortion, according to you. All right, now let me ask you a question. Do you have any proof of the value that you are claiming?
I have only, well, I only have.
Thank you.
How are you going to prove that you're entitled?
The nightstand, I have the amount, and the dresser, what that cost. And here's the credenza.
Listen to my question. Are these what you paid for new items, or what you paid for these items when you bought them?
I paid for the credenza, which states the amount including tax, and the dresser, the tall dresser.
Are these these are the receipts from the dresser?
Right.
Okay, let me see.
I made photocopies of it.
Okay, your name isn't on here. This is just a fortune off bill with the name cut off. How do I know this is yours?
I should have brought the original. I wouldn't lie under oath.
Okay.
Could I just say something, Your Honor?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I had contacted the Attorney General's office. He told me that Mr. Samuels is not going to cooperate. Therefore,
okay,
should
folks,
pursue.
I don't care. I am not Dr. Phil. I am here to handle what's in front of me right now. Okay? What's in front of me right now is a complete and total lack of proof of value, because what you've handed me is a fortune off bill with the date and the name cut off. Do you know what that tells me? I don't even have to have connected brain cells for that to tell me something, but it kind of tells me that you got this from someone else.
No.
Because now you've left me to my own resources to figure out what that's worth. I don't know how old it is. I don't know what its value is, because you hand me something with the name and address and date deliberately photocopied off.
I should have brought the original.
No, you should have. Why would you do this other than to hide it from me? Because it's not your bill. That would be the only reason to do it to me. And I find it offensive. I do. All right? Now, I've got you guys acknowledging that during the move, there was some damage to the dresser, and I've got a complete guessing game to what it would cost to repair it, replace it, or anything, or the value of the item at the time of the loss, because I don't know how old it is. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it's worth. I don't know what kind of wood it is. I don't know anything. But clean up after me. Okay, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $150. Hopefully you can get the dresser repaired for that. As for everything else, I have no idea if they damage it or not. By the way, in doing so, I do note that you signed something saying everything's in good working order, But since your guys are honest and have admitted to there being a problem with the dresser, that's why you're getting $150. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Got to tell you, the best way to protect yourself is get insurance, because a lot of these mover contracts have these ridiculous, like 17-cent liability limitations.
The People's Court is a Ralph Edwards Stu Billett production.